Have you ever wondered what happened to the wildest car designs of the 1960s? These 20 boundary-pushing machines combined futuristic styling and experimental powertrains, only to vanish before they could revolutionize the road. In this video, we'll uncover their mysterious rise and abrupt disappearance, revealing how shifting budgets and safety fears buried some of the era's most daring automotive dreams. Don't forget to subscribe and tell us in the comments which crazy car surprises you most. Keeble GK1. The Keeble GK1 combined a Chevrolet V8's raw 327 cubic inch power with a sleek Italian-designed GT body. Debuting in 1960, its crimson fiberglass shell, crafted by Berton, earned praise for nuanced curves and pop-up headlights. Under its low-slung hood, the 300-horsepower small block unleashed roaring acceleration that outclassed many contemporaries. Yet, high production costs and limited funding meant only 99 were built before the firm folded in 1964. Today, surviving GK1s are museum rarities. Their chirping suspension and throaty exhaust preserve a fleeting moment when British engineering flirted with Italian flair. Mysteriously, several prototypes vanished after the company's bankruptcy, fueling legends of undiscovered chassis stashed in barns. Chevrolet Corvair Monza GT. The Corvair Monza GT concept, unveiled in 1961, showcased radical mid-engine design from GM's styling division. Its low-profile, aerodynamic body, complete with gull-wing doors and wraparound windshield, hinted at future supercars. Beneath the rear deck, a rear-mounted air-cooled six-cylinder engine promised nimble handling, though only test mules ever ran. GM executives shelved the project, fearing its unconventional layout would cannibalize Camaro and Corvette sales. The sole functional prototype disappeared in 1969, rumored to be crushed for tax write-off. Only a handful of clay models remain. The Monza GT's daring proportions and experimental drivetrain marked it as one of the era's wildest visions, now lost to GM's vaults and the passage of time. Buick Centurion Concept. Buick's Centurion concept debuted at the '61 Detroit Auto Show, its bubble-top canopy and articulated tail fins evoking interstellar travel. The plexiglass roof slid forward, transforming the cockpit into an open-air lounge. Inside, a futuristic driver's pod rotated so the seat faced sideways, complete with cockpit-like instrument clusters. Powertrain and performance remained under wraps. Engineers hinted at a supercharged V8 producing 300 horsepower. GM executives, however, deemed the radical layout too costly for production. After its show circuit, Buick mothballed the prototype, reportedly dismantling it by 1965. Decades later, enthusiasts recovered only scattered fiberglass panels and photos. The Centurion now stands as a phantom of 1960s futurism, its ambitious ergonomics never realized beyond sketches. Ford Mustang Warmster's concept. The 1962 Mustang I concept was a mid-engine, two-seat sports car with a diminutive V4 engine borrowed from Ford's Lincoln division. Its lightweight fiberglass body featured a low nose, Cyclops headlamp in the nose tip, and fully independent suspension. Unheard of in mass-market cars then. Though the public adored its exotic looks, Ford canceled production after realizing it would compete with volume models. The sole running prototype was used for testing until 1966, then reportedly scrapped under a hush order. Today only archival photos remain, as if the Mustang I never existed. It lives on as a mysterious what-if in Mustang lore, an unsettling preview of what Ford might have become. GM Firebird III. The Firebird III concept, which GM showcased in 1963, pushed boundaries with gas turbine power and autonomous controls. Its gleaming stainless steel chassis housed a low-slung, canopied cockpit, measuring just 44 inches tall. Twin gas turbines generated over 225 horsepower, driving an innovative hydraulic torque converter. Rear-mounted fins and chrome accents completed the spaceship aesthetic. General Motors spent a small fortune testing its turbine reliability and early voice-activated systems, but turbine efficiency proved impractical, while costs soared beyond any production budget. By 1968, GM dismantled the prototype to salvage parts, leaving only skeletal remains in a Detroit warehouse. The Firebird III's vanished presence evokes Cold War-era ambition, an engineering marvel lost to the desire for conventional piston engines. Plymouth XNR Concept. Chrysler designer Virgil Exner's Plymouth XNR featured asymmetric styling. The driver's cockpit sat slightly forward, while a sweeping dorsal fin protected the passenger side. Under its hood rested a potent 426 Hemi F8, rumored to generate over 425 horsepower. The magnesium alloy body, painted in two-tone silver and gold, accentuated sculpted wheel arches and low-profile lines. Approved for limited production as a dealer promotional car, only one drivable XNR was built, completing just 50 test miles. Quickly sidelined by Chrysler after Exner's departure, the prototype disappeared into a collector's private vault, resurfacing decades later only as a restored show car. The XNR's strangely lopsided silhouette remains an icon of design daring, nearly forgotten between production sedans. Berton Kurabo. Lamborghini commissioned Berton to craft the wedge-shaped Kurabo concept for the 1968 Paris Auto Salon, but its design roots trace back to mid-60s studies. Painted in vibrant green, the Kurabo sported scissor doors and a 4.0-liter V12 mid-mounted power plant producing 370 horsepower. Its angular geometry, 2 decades ahead of its time, inspired countless supercar designs. But Berton retained ownership of the single prototype when Lamborghini moved forward with the Miura. After a brief show tour, the Kurabo languished in a private museum until the 1980s, when its engine ceased from disuse. Today it lives under glass in an Italian auto museum, key mechanical components missing, an evocative testament to how audacious concepts can nearly vanish once their moment passes. Buick Wildcat II concept. Showcased at the New York Auto Show, Buick's Wildcat II featured a brushed stainless steel body, segmented wraparound windshield, and pronounced tail fins. Its canvas-covered rear pulpit hid an aircraft-inspired seating area for 4. Beneath the skin, a supercharged 425 cubic inch V8, tuned to 340 horsepower, was projected to deliver 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 7 seconds. Despite favorable press, GM brass feared its polarizing design would alienate dealerships. The prototype remained at Buick's styling center until it quietly vanished in 1972, some say recycled for scrap metal during steel shortages. Only Bakelite dash components and scale models survive. The Wildcat II lives on in vintage brochures, a ghostly reminder of Buick's brief flirtation with radical futurism. Oldsmobile XP861. Oldsmobile's XP861, developed in 1965, previewed features later seen in production cars: hidden headlamps, flush door handles, and a low, aerodynamically honed silhouette. Behind its front grille hid a 400 cubic inch V8, producing 300 horsepower, paired to a 4-speed automatic. Its frame employed fiberglass reinforced plastic, a radical departure from steel. Though intended as a halo model, internal budget cuts saw the concept's demise before mass production. The sole drivable prototype was used for crash testing in 1968. Metal shards remain stored at GM's proving grounds. Extensive rumors about a second XP861 being lost during transit to a museum swirl among collectors. Regardless, only fragments of its pioneering design endure in Olds archives. Holden Hurricane. Holden's Hurricane, unveiled in 1969, though conceived in the mid-60s, pushed boundaries with an experimental fuel-injected 1.3-liter OHV engine and fully independent suspension. Its bubble canopy, hinged at the rear, granted unobstructed views. The dashboard displayed dual instrument pods, angled toward the driver. Australian engineers aimed to adapt it for high-performance export, but Holden managers balked at the high production cost and uncertain market. The sole working prototype was loaned to engineering schools before vanishing in 1975. Decades of searches reportedly ended when the Hurricane's body was found buried behind the Lang Lang research facility. While some parts survived in scrap piles, much of its advanced suspension design remains undocumented. Daytomazo Mangusta prototype. Though production Mangustas launched in 1967, Daytomazo's first prototype, traced to 1966, featured a tubular chassis and a Daytomazo-modified Ford 289 V8. Its slender roofline and vented louvers didn't make production, replaced by a higher roof for practicality. Enhanced suspension testing on the prototype revealed handling quirks, prompting a complete redesign. Shortly after, the prototype was retired and reportedly sold to a private racer in Argentina. Enthusiasts tracked it there until its engine was removed in 1972. Today, only anecdotal references remain of that original chassis. The Mangusta's true first form is lost, leaving collectors yearning for its unbridled, raw prototype essence. Škoda Tissit Stow OC. Czech automaker Škoda developed the 1100 OHC, a mid-engine, two-seat coupe, in 1963, but the project gained traction in 1966 with a 1.1-liter twin-cam four-cylinder producing 90 horsepower. Its lightweight aluminum body gave it nimble agility, yet the Soviet bloc's economy offered little support for niche performance models. Only 2 prototypes ran. One accident destroyed the first, while the second was tucked away in a Prague testing facility. In 1970, that chassis was scrapped for economic reasons, and usable parts sold off. Today, distant echoes remain in Heritage Club records, with enthusiasts piecing together technical drawings. The 1100 OHC's slender shark-like form symbolizes Eastern Europe's thwarted automotive ambitions. Volvo 180 ES prototype. Preceding the 1969 1800 ES wagon, an early prototype in 1967 showcased gull-wing doors and a pop-up headlamp cluster. Its steel monocoque skeleton carried a 180 horsepower B20 inline-4, and an experimental trailing arm rear suspension promised refined handling. After crash testing, Volvo deemed the gull-wing design too complex and costly, especially given the oil crisis looming. The prototype then served as a test mule until 1972, before reputedly being crushed. Only a few black and white press shots remain. By replacing futuristic gull wings with conventional doors, Volvo preserved practicality over showmanship. The 1967 prototype's disappearance underscores how safety regulations and economic forces sidelined even well-engineered innovations. On Altinja Dodge Diora, Dodge enlisted Alexander Brothers Customs to craft the Diora, a radical pickup concept unveiled at the 1967 Detroit Autorama. Based on a Dodge A100 pickup chassis, it featured a single-piece windshield, wrapping into the roof, rear suicide doors, and a hatch that flipped forward for engine access. Its 225 CI Slant 6 was re-engineered for 140 horsepower. Though the public adored its show-stopping lines and fiberglass body, Dodge never approved production. The sole Diora toured as a promotional show car until 1972. Rumors claim it ended in a southern salvage yard before a collector rescued it in 1985. Restored today, Diora remains a testament to wild, never-to-be-replicated 1960s custom culture. Oldsmobile Toronado, XVR. The Oldsmobile Toronado XVR concept, short for Experimental Vehicle Research, premiered at the '68 Chicago Auto Show with an agile unibody frame and hidden headlights. Its full-time front-wheel drive and 455 cubic-inch V8 delivered 380 horsepower, proving the feasibility of powerful FWD in a luxury package. The XVR's aerodynamic styling, flush-mounted glass, retractable headlights, and minimal overhangs influenced later production Toronados. However, GM executives balked at the high cost of specialized tooling. After show duty, GM quietly decommissioned the prototype by 1970. Only a handful of clay design models survive. The XVR's advanced drivetrain and sleek lines remain buried in corporate archives, a lost ancestor to GM's front drive revolution. Lancia Stratos, 0. Ferruccio Lamborghini commissioned Marcello Gandini at Bertone to design the Stratos Zero, a zero-emissions concept to rival Ferrari's supercars. Its wedge-shaped fiberglass body rose from the nose to a glazed cockpit perched just behind the front axle. Inside, the futuristic all-aluminum cockpit held seating for just 2, accessed by a forward-hinging canopy. A mid-mounted 1.6-liter dyno V6 sat hidden behind, slated to produce 190 horsepower. Despite enthusiastic receptions, Lancia killed the project when they shifted focus to rallying. The lone prototype was sold to a private Italian collector in 1975, then passed through several hands, its original engine removed in a 1980s restoration. Today it resides under glass in Turin, its electrified dreams unrealized. Plymouth Barracuda Mach-I Concept. Early Mach-I prototypes, in 1968, featured a Titanic 426 cubic inch Hemi 5, 8 tucked behind lightweight fiberglass fenders and a reshaped grille. Its widened stance and side-exit exhausts hinted at NASCAR's influence. Engineers tested the concept's torsional rigidity on rough tracks, but emissions regulations and rising insurance costs killed plans to fit it into the production lineup. The prototype, repurposed for crash testing by 1970, was eventually scrapped. Today only faded Polaroids and a single surviving chassis number printed on index cards remain in Mopar archives. That one-of-a-kind pre-production Mach-I now exists solely as legend, a roaring promise that never reached showroom floors. AMXGT. AMC's AMXGT concept debuted at the 1969 Chicago Auto Show, blending a lowered roofline, modified wheel wells, and custom side scoops into the production AMX platform. Beneath that coupe-like roof, the standard 390 cubic inch V8 was tuned to 325 horsepower for sprint tests. AMC's design chief aimed to gauge consumer appetite for an upscale, sportier AMX. Despite enthusiastic feedback, AMC's finances forced cancellation. The prototype was sold to a hobbyist in 1971, who drove it until electrical failures sidelined it in 1978. Years later, it was rediscovered in a barn, missing its custom trim pieces. Today, its gutted shell stands in AMC enthusiast circles as an enigmatic relic of bold, unrealized potential.